What's poppin', people? Welcome to MSG PM, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. I know right now you are watching one of the breakout games from Adam Fox this season when he recorded not one, not two, but 5 assists against the Philadelphia Flyers earlier this season. So we're going to talk a little hockey, going to talk a little bit of football. But before we do any of that, I got to tag in my tag team partner, the one and only Jeff EISENBAND, the man with the numbers right here. So Jeff, how you feeling, man? Talk to me.
I'm feeling great. We're watching a great Adam Fox game. We've been watching great Julius Randle games. If you would have told me we'd be watching celebratory games of these guys a year ago, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But 2 incredible performances by the most improved player in the NBA, Julius Randle, and the Norris Trophy winner for Best Defenseman, the first Rangers Norris Trophy winner since 1997, Adam Fox.
Yeah, it puts him in some very elite company, leading the entire NHL defenseman. 42 assists. He balled out this entire year. And like you said earlier today, he's only 23 years old. We saw greatness coming, but I don't know if we see it coming this soon. Jeff, talk to me about what you saw this season.
Yeah, only 23 years old. When the Rangers made the trade for him a couple of years ago, people knew, okay, here's a prospect. Here's a guy who's going to be a great defenseman. But I'm watching last season and I'm thinking, okay, he's great. He's a solid defenseman. All right, he might be the best defenseman on the New York Rangers. And then all of a sudden you're looking at the odds change throughout the year and thinking, oh, he can actually win the Norris Trophy. He could win the award for best defenseman in the league on top of those 42 assists you talked about. That led the league. 47 points overall, had 5 goals, so was second among defensemen in points last year, just behind Tyson Barrie. This guy was playing at Harvard 3 years ago and broke out and established himself as arguably the best defenseman in the NHL last season.
Well, Jeff, he's young and he's ready, so hopefully this isn't the only Norris Trophy he takes home. But let's see what Caesars Sportsbook is talking about. Producers, hit me with the full screen real quick. We got Cale Makar leading those odds with a plus 600. Adam Fox got some pretty good odds with a plus 700. And Dougie Hamilton of the New Jersey Devils with some 1,400 odds. Seems like a pretty sneaky good bet over there. Jeff, what are you seeing about these futures?
Yeah, Dougie Hamilton's an interesting one, especially because he was actually traded for Adam Fox before Adam Fox was even traded to the Rangers, a trade before that. So these guys have a history together. Victor Hedman's the name that obviously jumps out, all right, at plus 700. He's the guy that for weeks and weeks down the stretch last year, I thought he was going to hold off Adam Fox. I was pleasantly surprised when Adam Fox got that Norris Trophy. But listen, Kaz, this is an incredibly hard award to repeat. Nicholas Lindstrom, who won it 7 times, was the last guy to go back-to-back. He did that in 2008. Before that, you have to go, if you're taking a player other than Lindstrom, it was Ray Bourque in 1991. So it's going to be tough for Adam Fox, but like we talked about, he's still young. He's going to compete for this award, you could argue, for the next decade. So it's going to be excited to see what happens with Adam Fox. And the fact that he won the award and doesn't have the best odds means there's some room there at plus 700 to get a good deal on Adam Fox.
And you know me, I always love me a good deal, so I think I might put a little bread down and see if we can get that repeat, man. I'm not mad at that. So, Jeff, we're going from the blue shirts to Big Blue over in MetLife Stadium. Giants football is about to kick off any day now, and we got to look at these win totals, man. It's looking like a make-or-break year for a lot of the Giants on this roster, especially Daniel Jones at quarterback. But let's see what Caesars Sportsbook is talking about. They're looking at over 7 wins with negative 130 odds. And the under of that with a plus 110. Jeff, there's a lot of teams on there. There's a lot of players on this team that, you know, maybe playing for contracts, playing for their futures, playing for the ring. Talk to me about what you think about these Giants are going to do this season.
Yeah, I mean, we see from those odds more money on the over, and you can almost expect that line to potentially move to 7.5 in my mind, maybe even 8 as we continue on in the preseason, because I think the Giants are a really good team. We're talking about a team that went 6-10 last year and didn't win until week 6, folks. They lost their first 5 games, had an incredible backstretch of the season. I think that stuff matters when you're talking about that over-under at 7. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl this year, but when you think about the division, slightly weak, the NFC East, the Giants play all those teams, and the opening part of the schedule for the Giants, this is where it's interesting, versus Denver, at Washington, versus Atlanta. I know you can't place that bet after the first 3 weeks of the season, but those are 3 winnable games off the bat for the Giants. Of course, later on in the year, they get the Saints, the Rams, the Chiefs, the Bucks. So it's going to be so important for the Giants, unlike last year, to get off to a good start. And I think over 7 wins is easily reachable in, like I said, a weak NFC East.
You know, Jeff, you mentioned the Giants not winning a game for a long time last season. And the big reason why is because Saquon Barkley got hurt very early in the season, so all eyes will be on him and not just those incredible quads on his legs. He's one of the most dynamic and electric running backs in the entire NFL. But do you think he can return to form this season to help this Giants get over the hump?
Yeah, I think that he should be able to return the form. And where I'm thinking about Saquon, the fact that he might get some help is the Giants' receiving core is absolutely incredible. When we're talking about Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and then you add in Kadarius Toney, who the Giants drafted, who's going to be an outstanding playmaker. The Giants don't have to grind Saquon Barkley every play. Daniel Jones, you talked about him, Kaz. He's going to have a lot to prove. I think this is going to be more of a pass-first offense than we've seen from the Giants for a long time. But I think that should open up the field for Saquon Barkley. I don't know if we see this extraordinary number of rushing yards as opposed to all-purpose yards from Saquon, because I think he'll be catching a lot of passes out of the backfield as well.
Well, let's hope whatever he's running, catching, let's just hope he's playing all 18 weeks this year, because I know New York Giants and football fans everywhere just miss seeing him. Producers, hit me with that full screen, courtesy of Caesar Sportsbook. It looks like Saquon Barkley is going to need some sort of Adrian Peterson type return to form to lead the league in rushing. But you got Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, and Jonathan Taylor topping these odds. Jeff, hit me with the numbers. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, the two guys that really jump out to me are Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor on there. Dalvin Cook at plus 600. He was second in the league in rushing last year, and he only played in 14 of 16 games, so he's going to be right in the thick of things. And then you have Jonathan Taylor, who's a really interesting case where he finished third in rushing last year, and he actually had 146 less carries than Derrick Henry. He's won the job in the Colts backfield. He's the guy. He is going to get more touches this year, and he could be great value there at plus 1,200. And Kaz, we have to mention Saquon. We have to keep him in the conversation, because if Saquon is healthy, if he returns to that rookie year form, there's no reason he shouldn't be able to lead the league in rushing.
I'm hoping Saquon returns the form, but if there's anybody on that list that scares me to death, it is the guy at the top, Derrick Henry, coming down at full speed at you. I want zero smoke. Jeff, always good talking sports with you. Appreciate you pulling up. We're going to send our folks right back to the rink. Thank you for tuning in for MSGBM, presented for the people by Caesar Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. For Jeff, Kazim Fabiwide, see you soon, New York City. We'll catch you on the flip.